Okay. Hello, hello, hello. I believe I'm live. I'm just going to wait for a couple of breaths just to check. I have everything on my computer looks like it is actually live. Good, I think we are. All right. Okay. Fabulous. If you're with me and if you're joining me, thank you so much for being here. My name is Tamara Pitelen and I'm an energy healer, and one of the modalities I use is EFT, also known as tapping, emotional freedom technique. And last week, or the week before, the comments weren't working, so I'm just going to test the comments. Bear with. Just to see if they're actually working this time. Well, I can see my comment. Anyway, so what we're going to look at today is self-love and self-acceptance, which I know can sound a little bit like kind of airy-fairy and a bit new age and wacky, but it's actually profoundly important. Self-love and self-acceptance is, it's key to pretty much everything. It's key to your happy relationships. It's key to your financial abundance, because any blocks you have to loving and accepting yourself, they're going to show up in your life as blocks to the opportunities you want, the career progression you want, the financial abundance you want. When that kind of stuff isn't working in life, or where you don't have maybe the body you want, it can all stem back down to a lack of self-love and self-acceptance. So you could have beliefs about not being good enough, not being lovable. Those are the kind of things that are often sitting at the core of a lack of self-love. Because we can all say, yes, I love myself, but do you love all of yourself? So do you love the mean bits, the gossipy bits, the critical bits, the lazy bits? Because self-love isn't this kind of cherry-picking thing. You come as a package. So it's about loving and accepting all of yourself. Anyway, before I go on, so we're going to do some tapping on that. And I don't know how much about tapping to explain, really. I'm going to assume that if you're on here doing a bit of EFT tapping, unless you tell me otherwise in the comments that you don't know anything about it, I'm going to think that you know something about it. And what we do, basically, we're going to tap on some of the primary meridians, the endpoints of some of the primary meridians in your body, so the ones on your face and torso. You've got thousands of these things. So you are just like this big electrical system. Energy's moving all over your body, coming in through your chakras and then going out through your, the meridians to all your organs and your glands and your muscles and what have you. And sometimes these get blocked, and they tend to get blocked with, well, negative emotions and things like that. And the negative emotions are the result of a limiting belief, getting back to the limiting belief that I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy, I'm not lovable. That's the kind of stuff. Okay, but if you do want me to explain a little bit more about EFT tapping before we do it, let me know. Otherwise, we're just going to talk a little bit more about self-acceptance and love and why it's so important, and then we'll do some tapping on it. So, yes, so self-love, like I said, self-love means accepting the whole package that is you. This means loving the clumsy you, the lazy you, the gullible you, the slow you, the overweight you, the mean you, the victim you, the arrogant you, the scared you, the you who was a bully at school. You got to love that person, that part of you, as well as the you who didn't stand up to the bully at school. So the sadistic you got to love that bit, the cruel you, the parts of you that are harder to love. You've got to love those parts, because those parts wouldn't be acting out in the way they have been if they'd been loved enough themselves. Because as the saying goes, hurt people hurt people. So what does complete self-love look like? True self-love and acceptance looks like a life full of abundance and opportunities and marvelous synchronicities. Because self-love isn't just about not beating yourself up, although that's a good start, and stop calling yourself an idiot and all the rest of it. real self-love is about opening yourself up to and feeling deserving of the very best that this universe has to offer. And when you're in alignment with that, it means you're a master manifester, and it means you're a channel for birthing more love into this reality. And what does that do? So when enough of us are in alignment, and I'm not saying I am because I'm really not, but if enough of us are in alignment with self-love and allow, unconditional love to flow through us, then it heals the planet, and it heals all the beings on the planet. When love flows freely through us and it's unblocked by self-loathing, at that point it becomes impossible to hurt or harm. So we don't pollute ourselves or the planet, and we do not look for fake love on, say, the shopping channel or in a fast food shop or in a gambling website. The thing is that pretty much everyone, pretty much everyone on this planet has an issue with self-worth and self-acceptance and self-love. And the reason is because we're programmed that way. It's programmed into us from early in life. It's also installed in our DNA from our ancestors and our past lives. We are trained to doubt ourselves. We're trained to undermine ourselves, to deprecate ourselves, to sabotage ourselves. And a lot of that comes down to control and manipulation. So and our parents kind of do it to us, but they do it for the good reasons. So they're trying to make us fit into society. So they give us love and approval when we behave in a certain way, and they give us punishment when we don't. And so what happens is that we learn that love is conditional when we're children, mostly in the first 7 years of life, which is when we're a blank canvas, just absorbing everything that's going on around us and taking it on as truth without any critical discernment. We accept everything as truth. And so we learn that love is conditional on meeting certain expectations, conditional on behaving a certain way, being a good girl, being a brave boy, doing well in school exams, being great at sport, being enthusiastic about what your parents believe you should be enthusiastic about. Because let's think about what love looks to a child. To a child, it's hugs and cuddles and kisses and being told we're loved and being praised and receiving time and attention and validation and affection. And not all of us get that all of the time. We generally kind of get told that we're not acceptable in certain ways for certain things, that maybe we shouldn't behave like that, or we shouldn't say that thing, we shouldn't look the way we do. And that's for people who've had a supposedly normal childhood. In the more upsetting scenarios, when children are neglected or abused in any way, these beautiful children internalize this trauma and again turn it into beliefs that they're not good enough, they're worthless, they're unlovable, and so on. However, we don't want to also get into the blame game where we start blaming our parents or our teachers or whoever, because anyone who taught us that love is conditional or love is painful or love is hurtful was struggling with their own love and self-worth issues. So we've got a pandemic of lack of self-love. And as I said before, most of us love ourselves partially. And by that I mean we cherry pick which parts of ourselves we like and which parts of ourselves we do not like. And we generally don't like parts of ourselves because we've been taught that there's something wrong with them. So for me personally, I'm proud of my wit, I'm proud of my intelligence, my creativity, my talent for writing, but I struggle, and it's been a lifelong thing, I struggle to love my body as it is. I can love and accept parts of my body, but there are other parts of my physicality that I stubbornly refuse to love. And I withhold love from these parts of myself, and I say, I will only be able to love my body when it's thinner. I refuse to love my body now, but if my body gets thinner, then I will love it completely. And that is conditional love. That's love that's only offered when an expectation or a standard is met. And yes, like I said, we tend to learn this from our parents, but like I said, let's not blame them because they were doing their best and they had their own self-love issues to deal with. So I'm trying to think, what else did I want to say there? Yeah, oh, and that's the other thing, how we decide which parts of ourselves we like and don't like. It's the parts that got the positive feedback as a child. Hang on. Right. That's someone saying me that they've commented. but I'm still not seeing the comments. How very annoying. Why can't I see the comments? Okay, never mind. Right. I might have to try and deal. Okay, sorry guys, I can't, if anyone's commenting, I can't see them and I don't know why. Okay, that's probably not a good thing to do. Bear with me a moment, I'm just going to open another Facebook page. Oh yeah, there's me looking lost. Ah, there we go. Okay. Hi, Anna Maria. Hello, hello. And Adrian, thank you. Okay, I can see those. I'm going to have 2 pages open. Never mind. All right, where were we? Yes. So I think what we'll do is just get straight into some tapping from here. And I'm going to start with, now I've got all these windows open, I can't find it anymore. There we go. The one about being our harshest critic. So just follow along with me. And this is obviously a script you can follow along with, but again, change the words to suit yourself. And the words I'm going to give you and the words you tell yourself, as you say them, as you think them, they're going to open files up in your brain, open up things that we want to get to and diffuse and dissolve. So this one is, even though I'm my harshest critic, I choose to love and accept myself now. Let's start with that. Tapping on your karate chop point. Even though I am my harshest critic, I choose to love and accept myself now. Even though I am my own harshest critic, I choose to love and accept myself now. Even though I'm my own harshest critic, I'm harder on myself than anyone else's, I choose to love myself now. Take a deep breath. Remember, make some noise, yawn. That's all the stuff that gets energy moving. Right, now go to your eyebrow point. I am my own harshest critic. And then side of the eye. I'm always finding fault with myself. Under the eye. I find fault with the way I look. Take a deep breath. And under the nose. And I find fault with the way I speak. Chin. I find fault with the way I dress. And anything else you find fault with yourself about, make this your own. Chest, collarbone points. I find fault with the way I act, the way I behave. Under the arm. I find fault with the choices I've made. Take another deep breath. Side out. Top of the head. And I find fault with the decisions I've taken. Eyebrow. I find fault with the work I do. Side of the eye. I find fault with the way I eat. Under the eye. I find fault with all the television I watch. I find fault with my use of social media. Maybe you think you spend too much time on Instagram or something. Okay. And collarbones. I find fault with the way I use my free time. I find fault with how much exercise I do. Top of the head. Or don't do. Okay, eyebrow point. I find fault with how clean I am. How tidy I am. Side of the eye. I find fault with how organised I am. Big deep breath. Under the eye. If there's one thing I'm really good at, it's finding things about myself to criticize. Okay, under the nose. Where did I learn to be so self-critical? Under the under the mouth, on the chin. What do I achieve from being so self-critical? Collarbone. How old was I when I learned to judge myself? Take a deep breath. And again, these questions are going to just start opening files in your brain. So even if you don't know the answer to something, it doesn't matter. Your brain's searching for these things. Under the arm. How old was I when I learned to judge myself like this? Top of the head, who taught me to be so self-critical? Eyebrow. Because I didn't criticize myself as a baby. Side the eye. I was taught this behavior. Under the eye. I was taught how to be tough on myself. Under the nose. But why? And chin. What has it ever achieved? Collarbone. And what would be so terrible about being kind to myself? Under the arm. What would be so terrible about letting up on myself a bit, giving myself a break? Top of the head. Why do I need to be so mean to myself? Okay, so just stop tapping for a moment and close your eyes and take a deep breath. And just have a little think. Let the questions kind of percolate in your cells and in your brain. Why are you so tough on yourself? Okay, let's start again. Eyebrow. Maybe I've got reasons for why I'm so tough on myself. Side the eye. Maybe I think I've got really good reasons for doing this. Under the eye. Maybe I'm trying to get the best out of myself. Deep breath. Under the nose. Maybe I think criticizing myself is motivational. Chin. Maybe there's a part of me that thinks I can bully myself into being better. Collarbone, whatever better is. Under the arm. But can I really shame myself better? Top of the head. Or is shaming myself just bringing more shame? Eyebrow. Maybe I can love myself better. Side of the eye. Love myself to a point where I feel happier. Under the eye. And maybe shaming myself isn't going to get me there. Take a deep breath. I learnt to beat myself up under the nose. I learnt to beat myself up like this. Chin. Would it be possible to offer myself unconditional love? Collarbone. Would it be possible to unconditionally love and accept myself regardless of my faults? And I want you to think here about what your faults are, regardless of your size, regardless of your salary, regardless of the fact you don't live where you think you should be living by now. You haven't done what you should be doing by now. Anything that's got the word should in it, that's probably something you're beating yourself up about. Take a deep breath. Under the arm. Is it possible to love myself despite my so-called failings? Top of the head. I don't know if I can do that. Eyebrow. I'm not sure I can love all these different things about myself. think I've got to keep beating myself up until they change. Under the eye. But I've been doing that a long time now. Under the nose. And it hasn't worked so far. Chin. And I'm kind of tired of beating myself up all the time. Big breath. Collarbone. And what if it's actually doing the opposite of what I want? Under the arm. Maybe by beating myself up about my weight is getting me fatter, or beating myself up about a lack of money is getting me poorer, or beating myself up about a lack of success is making me fail more, whatever it is for you. And breathe. And then just tap on the top of the head. Somewhere along the way, I've learnt that love is conditional. Eyebrow. Love has been conditional on my meeting expectations. Whose expectations? Side the eye. But what if real love is never conditional? Under the eye. What if profound love sees me as divine and perfect right now? Under the nose. Well, yeah, that's fine, but I live here in the real world of fear, judgment, greed, and ignorance. Chin. And I don't know how to love and accept myself. Collarbone. But what if that is the key? What if self-love is the key? Under the arm. And what if denying myself self-love is the reason for my problems continuing? Maybe denying myself, top of the head, maybe denying myself self-love keeps me feeling deprived and punished. Eyebrow. And maybe that doesn't work. So well, it hasn't worked, has it? It's failed miserably. Under the eye. So maybe I can give something else a chance. Under the nose. I'm open to the idea of loving myself unconditionally as I am. It might take some time to shift the ingrained habits of self-punishment. Deep breath, side out. Collarbone. But I will begin the process now. I keep tapping. And under the arm. Because there is so much about me that is worthy of love. Deep inhale. Top of the head. Would it really be so awful to love myself as I am? Eyebrow. Would it really be so hard to offer myself love and compassion? Side the eye. Maybe I can love myself as I am. Under the eye. Maybe I can shift the belief that I've got to punish myself till I'm different, till I change. Under the nose. What a relief it would be to stop battling myself like this. Chin. What a relief it would be to stop hating myself or hating parts of myself. Collarbone. What a relief it would be to stop criticizing myself. Top of the head. I choose to love myself unconditionally, even if I'm not sure how to do that yet. Okay, tapping on the inside of the wrist. I'm willing to love myself unconditionally. And then tap on the top edge of your thumbnail. I'm willing to love myself unconditionally. And then same again on the index finger, top of the nail. I'm willing to love myself unconditionally. Same again on the middle finger. I'm willing to love myself unconditionally. And then fourth finger, but on the bottom edge of the nail, I'm willing to love myself unconditionally. And then back to the little finger, but again back to the top edge, I'm willing to love myself unconditionally. Ooh. Take it down. Okay, so stop tapping for a moment. Let me just put my cat down. And close your eyes if they're not already. And just take a little bit of time to visualize, if you look inside your body, and visualize things shifting as your brain starts soaking up the information that maybe it's okay to release some of the self-punishment and the self-criticism and the self-judgment, and maybe it's okay to love yourself, to love the parts of yourself that are so-called unacceptable. Because maybe all they need is loving. And you've pushed them away for a very long time, and maybe what needs to happen is for you to embrace them. Okay. Okay, let me have a little. Got anything to say to me about that? Please put it in the comments that I can see now. And I want to do one more tapping script. And for this one, I need you to think about what you most fear. So, Jake, you are not helping. Okay, come on down then. So, and by that I mean, because most of us, we criticize ourselves and we abuse ourselves and all the rest of it, and refuse to love parts of ourselves for good reasons. Good reasons. And these are usually, the reasons are that so that we fit in, so that we belong in society. So we don't do things that are going to get us excluded from society, because obviously it's, you know, way back in our DNA, we've got the belief that we need to be part of the tribe in order to be looked after, in order to be kept safe. If you're excluded from the tribe, then you're basically left to die, or you're going to die. So, so it's all really old stuff in our primal brain. So what are you most afraid of? And you might have to just close your eyes for a minute and think. So, you know, and for a lot of people, it's being attacked, being disowned, being killed even. And again, this is where some past life stuff or some ancestral stuff can come up that's encoded in your DNA, because this stuff has happened in the past. You've kind of got every right to feel afraid of being attacked and killed, because chances are it's happened in the past in some incarnation or other. So yeah, so I'm going to use the word attacked. I'm going to use the word, even though I'm afraid of being attacked, I'm open to loving and accepting myself. But if that's not the word that kind of feels right for you, change it to something else. I'm afraid of being ridiculed. I'm afraid of being humiliated. Whatever it is, I'm afraid of being punished. That's often one. Okay, so let me just check that no one's fear of failure, Adrian. Yeah. Hi, Morella. Thank you for that. Hang on, fear of failure with regards to self-acceptance. I have to think. I don't quite know what you mean there, Adrian. Hang on. Let's do the script, and we'll maybe you can put it in. Even though you're afraid of failure, even though I'm afraid of failing. Then yeah. Anyway, let's just get on with it, shall we? So pick your thing that you're afraid of. And if you can, if you're in somewhere that you can, say it out loud. If you can't say it out loud, say it in your head. But if you can, it's just that much more powerful. All right. Big deep breath. And remember, lots of noise as far as yawning, laughing, that's all good for moving energy. Even though I'm afraid of being attacked, karate chop point, I'm open to loving and accepting myself now. Even though I'm afraid of being attacked, I'm open to loving and forgiving myself. Big breath. Even though I'm afraid of being attacked, I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Okay, take a big breath and let's go to the eyebrow point. This fear, side the eye, this fear has stopped me from taking action. This fear of being attacked, of being judged, being ridiculed, whatever your fear is, put it in there now as you're tapping on this end point of this meridian. This is your stomach meridian, just by the way. Tap it and breathe. And then move under the nose. I'm changing my world today to the way I want it to be. Collarbone. The fear in my body. Under the arm. This fear in my body. Top of the head. Even though this fear stops me from changing my world, I love and accept myself. Eyebrow point. This fear. Side of the eye. I'm open to loving and forgiving myself. Under the eye. Even though this fear has paralyzed me. Under the nose. And blocked me. Chin. And made me feel sad. Big deep breath. Collarbone. Even though I'm afraid to let this fear go, because then I might have to be visible, or whatever it is for you. I might have to be seen. I might have to step up. I might have to speak out. Under the arm. Part of me is trying to protect me from what? Ridicule, attack, humiliation. What is this part of you trying to protect yourself from? And tap the top of the head and say it again. This part of me is trying to protect myself from ridicule, attack, humiliation, embarrassment, exclusion, death. Okay. And now eyebrow. This fear is trying to protect me from humiliation. Or what else? Trying to protect me from shame and embarrassment, side of the eye. Under the eye. This fear thinks it's helping me. Under the nose. But is this fear really helping me? Chin. Or is it creating exactly what I'm trying to avoid? Collarbone. Because when I hold on to fear, how do I feel? I feel shameful. Under the arm. I feel shameful because I judge myself. I feel guilty because I judge myself. I feel inadequate because I judge myself. Again, what do you feel? I feel like a failure because I judge myself. Top of the head. And even though part of me is terrified of standing up and taking my power, eyebrow point. Because I was taught to be quiet. Side of the eye. I was taught to fit in. I was taught to be respectful. Under the nose. I was taught to know my place. Big breath, keep tapping. And then come to the chin. I've been taught to hold back. I've been taught to dim my light. It's not safe to shine too brightly. Collarbone. I've been taught to hold back. Don't be too clever. Don't be too bright. Under the arm. Even though I've been telling myself this limiting belief. Top of the head. This limiting belief about how I can't change myself or the world. Eyebrow point, because I'm too what? Too old, too young, too lazy, too ugly, too fat, too stupid, too late to the party, too gullible, whatever it is that whatever excuse you give yourself or reason you give yourself. Side of the eye. Part of me secretly believes that I just can't do it. Under the eye. Just tap under the eye. And then comes the chin. I'm open to loving and accepting myself. Collarbone. And even if I believe that I can't change until the day I die, and I might believe this until the day I die. I have every right to believe this if I want to. Top of the head. Do I really want to take this thought to my grave? Eyebrow. I forgive myself for being afraid of taking my power and creating change in this world. Eyebrow. Side of the eye. I love and accept myself even if I've been telling myself that I'm too old, too fat, too poor, too young, too tall, too short, whatever it is you're telling yourself, too female, too male, too masculine, too feminine. Under the eye, I love and forgive myself. Under the nose, even if I secretly don't love and forgive myself. Okay, and chin. I'm releasing the sphere that's controlling my life. Collarbone, this limiting belief. Under the arm, this fear that has been controlling my life. Top of the head, this idea that I'll be ridiculed, excluded, attacked, killed. Eyebrow, this limiting belief that I picked up somewhere. Side of the eye, who told me this? Under the eye, maybe it was my parents, my teachers, the media, religion, wherever. Under the nose, maybe I was born with this belief. Chin, even though I picked up this belief when I was really young, and now just have a think, when do you think you picked this belief up? What age just pops into your head intuitively? Collarbone, I am open to loving and accepting myself. Under the arm, this belief. Top of the head is the sign controlling other areas of my life. Eyebrow. So if I release it here, I will release it in other areas of my life as well. Side of the eye. And even though I'm afraid to change this belief, because it would change my identity. It would change my capacity. I love and forgive myself for how long I've held on to this belief. Under the nose. And I really have held on to this belief for a very long time. Chin, I'm allowing myself to update this belief now. Collarbone. Maybe I'm exactly the right age. Under the arm. And maybe I look exactly how I'm supposed to look. Top of the head. Maybe I've got all the power I need to transform. Eyebrow. Maybe I'm good enough. Side of the eye. Maybe there's nothing to fear. Under the eye. Maybe nothing can stop me. Under the nose. I love and accept myself. Chin. I'm installing a new belief now. Collarbone. Even though this old belief has been really strong, under the arm, this old belief that I'm too fat or too old or too poor or too young or too short or whatever your thing is. And the thing about saying these beliefs, like, oh, I'm too fat, every time you say it, you give it the opportunity to change. It's when we are too scared to say these things that they kind of lock in there and they don't transform. Because as soon as you say whatever it is that you think is wrong with you, then you can also start to question it. Anyway, top of the head. I'm installing a new belief. Eyebrow. I am good enough. Side of the eye. I love the way I am now. My brain is good enough. Under the nose. My body is good enough. Chin. I am exactly how I'm supposed to be. Collarbone. And I'm allowing myself to let this new belief into my life. Under the arm. Even if it completely changes who I think I am. Top of the head. If I let myself believe this new belief, eyebrow. Would it change the way I walked? Side of the eye. Would it change the way I talked? Under the eye. Would it change the way I dressed? Under the nose. Would it change the way I sit? And then if you feel like this new you would sit a different way, change the way you sit now. It's more in alignment with this new, brighter, self-loving you. Okay, chin. I'm giving myself the possibility that this new belief is more true than the old belief. The old belief that I picked up from my mother or my father or my teacher. Collarbone. And I'm open to forgiving the people who taught me to doubt myself. Under the arm. They doubted themselves. They were taught they weren't good enough. They were hurt by the people who were hurt. Top of the head. So I'm doing this for myself now. But I'm also doing it for my mother, for my father, for the people at school, the people who invented the religions that suppressed me, for everyone involved in giving me this belief. And for everyone who suffers from the same belief. All the men and all the women. Eyebrow. I love and accept myself. Side of the eye. I'm changing my culture right now, right here in my body, right here in my belief system, right here in my blood. Under the eye. I love and accept myself. Under the nose. I'm giving my body permission to release this fear, even if it changes everything. Chin. Even if it changes the way I sit, the way I talk, the way I spend my time. Collarbone. I am lovable and acceptable and valuable. Valued. Under the arm. And I am powerful. Top of the head. And I now choose love. Eyebrow. I trade embarrassment and shame and fear and pain and cultural conditioning for truth and love. I'll say that again since I said that a bit fast probably. I trade embarrassment and shame and fear and pain and cultural conditioning for truth and love, for beauty and for right action. Okay, this is some important ones now. I'm allowed, top of the head, I'm allowed to experience my power, even if it feels safer just to think about my power. Eyebrow. I'm allowed to experience my power, even if it feels safer just to study the others who have power. side of the eye. I'm allowing myself to experience my power. Even if I'm the first one in my family to truly experience her power or his power. Okay, and just stop tapping. Close your eyes. And just kind of let that percolate, let it settle. And just consider how you feel now about loving and accepting yourself. And has that changed? Are you more open to it? And even if you still find it difficult, you can say that you are now walking the path of self-love and self-acceptance. And if you stumble sometimes, you forgive yourself. Because we've been basically criticizing ourselves for so many years that you might find you just kind of fall back into those old habits. You might hear yourself saying, "Oh, you idiot," to yourself. That's when we kind of split ourselves in half, and there's the good us, the acceptable us, and then there's the bad us. And we identify with the good us because we're pushing the bad us away. So that's why we say, "You idiot, it's you over there, you." Trouble with that is that the more we reject any part of ourselves, the more that part of ourselves is going to act out, and the more we are again blocking ourselves from everything, all the best that this divine universe has to offer. And that's because that's when we feel unworthy of love, unworthy of abundance, unworthy of healthy finances, that kind of thing, and health, wealth, happiness, all that. Okay, I think that's probably enough tapping for today. Thank you, Antonella. So I'm going to leave it there. Again, if anybody would like to have a private tapping session, if you've got an issue that you want to work on privately, I'll put my website in again. So just contact me through my website for a private session. I think I'm open to suggestions for next week, but I think we might be doing body image. So we might just kind of come back to self-acceptance, but hone it down into body image and weight as well, because that's the thing that I've struggled with pretty much my whole life. Beating myself up about my body. And I know I'm not the only one. It's an epidemic out there. Anyway, so I'll get to that next week. Much love to you, and thank you for joining me and watching. And I'll be back, yeah, like I said, at the same time next week, and hope to catch you then. Feel free to drop me a line and say what you'd like to tap on as well. And I don't feel like looking for the button to stop the live stream. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. Oh, okay. Here we are. All right. Thank you. Bye.